Hi, I'm Kelly Steele, fitness reporter with the Windsor Star. Today I have a special guest with me, Sabastien Sasseville from Quebec City. Sebastian's doing a pretty cool adventure right now across Canada. He started off February 2nd from St. John's, Newfoundland, and he's running across Canada for diabetes. Sebastian, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your trip.
It's been a wonderful and very crazy adventure so far. I can't believe I've been on the road running 5 marathons a week for almost the last 5 months. So 7,500 kilometers, that's about 180 marathons in 9 months.
That's crazy.
And the goal is to inspire people, empower. I live with type 1 diabetes. So we're definitely trying to talk to as many people who live with diabetes as possible in Canada. And our mission is about overcoming obstacles, so whether it's diabetes or other challenges that people face in their lives.
Okay. Now, what's a typical day for you right now?
Pretty exhausting. It's pretty hot. Starting to miss the cold from last winter, which I never thought I would miss it, but we had a few days with temperatures over 30 degrees in the last few days. So typical day starts with breakfast, obviously, then getting ready for the run. I run 40 kilometers per day, 5 or 6 days a week. So what that looks like is typically 20K in the morning, stop for lunch for about an hour at the most, and then run another 20 kilometers in the afternoon. And we're based in the same city for about 3, 4, 5 days sometimes. And from there, we drive to my starting point. I run 40 kilometers, then we drive home, and in home being a campground, hotel, or wherever, whatever we can find.
Yeah.
And the next morning, drive back exactly where I left off, run another 40 kilometers, and do it again the next day.
That's all, eh?
Yeah, that's all.
Now, how's the appetite right now?
I've lost weight. You would think that when you exercise so much, so it's anywhere between 4 and 5 hours of running every day, that you would be starving, and it's not often the case.
No.
So I've lost weight. I've lost a lot of weight the first month. Then my weight was stable. I've lost a lot of weight in the last month and a half. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that. Definitely want to stay healthy and be fit to run. But trying to eat as much as I can, and we'll see what happens.
Now, running a marathon a day has to be challenging enough. Now, I understand running with diabetes has to add an even more of a challenge to it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live with type 1 diabetes. So what that means is I wear an insulin pump. I have to check my blood sugar 10 times a day. Before I exercise, I have to manage blood sugar, make sure it's staying in range before, during, and after exercise. Before every meal, count the carbs that I'm about to have, balance that with the right amount of insulin. So when you add a marathon a day to that equation, obviously things get a little more complicated. So and it's possible, and that's part of the message, obviously. So with the right attitude, the right diet, the right tools, diabetes can be managed, and people should and can pursue their dreams, even living with diabetes.
It's impressive. Now, how do you get up in the morning knowing you're going to run again? Not just a quick little 5K run. You're going to run 40K. Now, how do you get out of bed and do that?
It's amazing what the body can do, the body and the mind. And I remember being on the starting line 5 months ago in St. John's and wondering, is this possible? Like, how is it going to work? And I was very excited at the time, and I still am, but there's no secret that there are good days and bad days. So what motivates you changes all the time, whether it's music. We meet so many good people on the road.
And you said you go into some schools and that as well, right?
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite parts of the project. So going to schools, going into organizations, companies, people are stopping literally on the side of the roads, take pictures.
That's got to make you feel amazing.
Yeah, and that reminds me that it's not so much what I do that's important. What's important is what it means. So what the project and the run means to other people. And yesterday, one of the coolest stories so far, we met a very cool couple, newly retired, and they had heard about the run. They knew they were coming. They knew I was coming to the campground where we were staying, and they were
really?
staying there as well. And 2 days ago, when they found out, they decided to quit smoking, and they had been thinking about it for years. So
Oh,
things
very
like
nice.
that, to me, is absolute joy. That's why I do it, and that's the kind of story that gives me the energy to keep running every day.
Now, I know besides running across Canada, which is huge, you've done some other pretty cool endurance things.
Yeah, I've kept it keeps me out of trouble. Nothing good happens if I'm not busy.
I hear ya.
No, I became the first Canadian living with diabetes to summit Mount Everest
That's very cool.
in 2008, and that was a magnificent journey and an accomplishment that felt good, and that was hopefully brought a lot of hope to people living with diabetes in Canada. Over 3 million people actually. Did a lot of Ironman races, completed 6 of them, and 2 years before the run across Canada, I did a race in the Sahara, which was 250 kilometers, self-supported,
How was that?
5 days. It was nuts. It was such a wonderful experience. I think really good things happen when you commit to a goal that you're not really sure if you can do it, but you just dive in, and when you do that, you make yourself vulnerable. You make yourself open to learning a lot of things, and that's typically what happens. You learn a lot. So these things to me they're vehicles of self-discovery, personal growth, very much like diabetes has become a vehicle.
And how do you think you're going to feel when on November 14th you finally get to Vancouver? Going to be a pretty cool feeling, you think?
Yeah, of course, of course. November 14th is World Diabetes Day, so that's why we've set that as a target arrival date. Again, it's not going to be about the accomplishment. It's going to be about what it means and what it means to 3 million people in Canada living with a form of diabetes. So if we can inspire and empower all those people along the way, I think that's how we're going to measure success.
Absolutely. And how are you feeling? You're almost halfway,
Everything
right?
hurts. I'm smiling, but I'm just a
Everything
good
hurts.
actor.
A little tired.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm very thankful that there's been no major injuries so far. I'm always almost surprised, but knock on wood that things are going to stay that way. Recovery is everything for me this year. I definitely came from a performance-driven background into this, and now there's no concept of performance at all in what I do. It's just about surviving the day, getting the distance done, and recovering as much as I can to try to survive the next day. So I'm sore, I'm not running as fast as I used to,
Are you
but
still liking running?
I'm still enjoying running.
Good.
I don't know if I
For
will
now,
at the end
right?
of the year. I hope I will, but no, I'm still enjoying every day for sure.
And I understand while you're in Windsor, you're going to be
Yeah.
putting on, I guess you're pairing up tomorrow night with George Kennan, who's a country music singer. Tell us a
Absolutely.
little bit about tomorrow night.
Yeah, so it's tomorrow is June 19th, Thursday night. Starts at 6:30 at the Capitol Theater in Windsor. It's called an inspired evening with diabetes. It's put together by Animus Insulin Pumps. So they're one of our sponsors, and they brought in a bunch of really interesting and totally inspiring guest. So it is a night designed for people living with type 1 diabetes. It is a night of inspiration. We'll share stories, laugh, life lessons. I'll speak for about 30 minutes. George is going to play some music, and there's a few more surprises in store. So it's going to be
That
fun.
sounds like a good time.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the night, if everybody who, and it's a free event, by the way, but I think people are going to go back home feeling much better about living with diabetes, and that's cool.
Now, for anyone who wants to follow your journey, is there a way they can follow you to see where you are each day?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is outrundiabetes.ca. Facebook is an excellent way to follow, obviously, because people don't go on our website every day, but they do go on Facebook every day. So our page is under facebook.com/Canada Runs. So that's great because we post pictures and videos and updates every single day.
Okay.
And we're on Twitter at Canada Runs. Instagram is Canada Runs as well. So lots of different ways to follow, and all the information obviously is on the website.
Okay. Well, good luck on your run, and I look forward to following you to Vancouver.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So once again, you heard tomorrow night, 6:30 at the Capitol Theatre. Sebastian's going to be there along with George Kennan and some other really cool guests. Come out, support diabetes, and learn more about it. And like Sebastian mentioned, follow him and watch his journey on the way to Vancouver. Thank you.